perverse audience as they watched and drank in her display. Hell yeah, Kuchi. One man at the back of the hall called out, his voice sounding rather labored. In the back of her mind, Kuchi was 90% sure that whoever had bellowed just now most likely had his meat in one hand. I don't think I need to tell you what meat is. I'm not a biology teacher. Already tugging at it in a frenzy and wouldn't even be able to hold on. She got to pick of her performance before releasing Jizz. I think I won't tell you what Jizz is too. You have Google, check all over the floor. Such was the sexual tension her performance was working into the bodies of beholders. I love those rock solid tits, Kuchi. Fantastic. Another one yelled. This voice sounded closer than the first guy. Kuchi guessed that he was sitting in one of the more expensive seats, much closer to the stage she was on at this pay-per-view event. He sounded more relaxed than the first guy, which probably meant that he wasn't helping himself. I know by helping himself, you should know they mean, jerking off. Yet, but she was sure that pretty soon he would be. She was performing this nude under the spotlight, and her audience was encapsulated, paying rapt attention to her every move and lost in the depths and bubbles of their fantasies. Now, Mercedes slowly spun while making sure to align her movement patterns with the rhythm of the music, as one of the major things she was here to do was dance. So far, how many dialogue have we got? I think 2 or 3 bits of dialogue, but the description has you hooked. So, when they tell you, oh, make your book fast paced, you can actually do that without even putting dialogue. It just takes your skill. From this chapter we are reading, you can learn a lot that you can actually use description to finish your readers before you even put any dialogue. So the dialogue just a nail in the coffin. The point of all these books is to put suspense. The point of all these books is to give suspense. So if you can get your reader, if you can get them by the scruff of the neck without even putting any dialogue, I think you're good to go. You have set the tone for a very wonderful book. Now, after a few minutes of intentional inaction, which began to be good, her perfectly shaped. Oh, fantastic. I cannot really say it. These brought about oohs, ahs, and yeahs from the audience. She could tell they were having fun, but she was just getting started. Man, why has nobody. These books should have like 50 million reads. Like. While Kuchi was offering premium entertainment to her perverted customers, someone else was arriving at the location at that exact hour who had no intention of having any fun, but was more keen and hell bent on spoiling someone else's. Now, already, you can see that the description has changed. Just now, we're talking about sexual tension and enjoying ourselves. Next minute, we're hearing that somebody is coming who doesn't want to have any fun. Already, that's like, who is that? So, that's already making you ask a question. Just outside the building of Tequila, the strip club where Kuchi was presently performing, with the moon shining brightly and the mid-February winter in full force, a black 1979 Lincoln Continental pulled up. Out of the front passenger seat came a young man in a brown coat and hat, who in turn went to open the door of the right rear passenger seat. Yeah, that is the passenger seat at the back, but the one on the right, the door on the right. Then out of that door came another man, also dressed in a brown coat and hat. He looked like a man in his mid-50s with wrinkles and grey hair here and there, but he had a gracious amount of shiny black hair that had been worked into a ponytail and could be seen under his hat. Already, the description is inch perfect. Like, the description of this book, I think the author deserves credit because the description is killing. Because I mean, we said, oh, the cover is not so good, and then the title itself is there's no word like mafia. But I mean, this person is already proven us wrong by what she has written. See why they say don't judge a book by its cover. He also had an air of authority about him and did not look thrilled. This is where we are now. He was Don Fabrizio Colpani, boss of the Uomini Maroni, interesting, an Italian crime organization. Notice how everything has a name. Cucci, Tequila, the name of the club. Don Fabrizio, the man. Uomini Maroni. They didn't just say he was the boss of the mafia. No. Add more depth. Name everything. Give everything a name. Everything that deserves a name, give it a name. Give everything, give every character a proper description. Make everything three-dimensional. Make it fully developed. That's what we are learning from this chapter. I tell you. Apart from the fact that we have learned that description can or on its own is a powerful tool. We are learning that there's a way you give everything depth. And how do you give something depth? Give it a name. Give it a name. You give it a proper description. Spend time describing it. I mean, you have already this chapter already. You have seen is a 10. I don't know what the rest of the chapter will be, but the chapter itself is a 10. He was Don Fabrizio Company, boss of the Umar Maroni and internal crime organization. Bystanders noticed him and began to mutter and whisper to each other. Everybody who knew the streets, most likely, everybody who knew the streets, okay, everybody who knew the streets most likely knew the Umini Maroni and had heard rumors about Don Fabrizio being the leader of the gang. Instantly, fear and caution were struck in their hearts. Still, we have not had any dialogue. But I mean, this is amazing. Have you ever seen a book like this, where there's not more than three pieces of dialogue, but then it's killing? Nah, I don't think you have. This is a book that should be read. Me, I'm going to read this book after this. As he and his bodyguard made to go to the door, a well-built, bald bouncer in a black t-shirt, ripped jeans, and sneakers attempted to stop them. You can see that even the bouncer has been described. We know that the bouncer is well-built. We know that he's bald. We know what he's wearing: a black t-shirt, ripped jeans, and sneakers. I think you should take notes. Take notes, please. Attempted to stop them. He wasn't supposed to let just anybody in. Whoa, whoa, stop right there. So finally, after a long time, we have dialogue again. Whoa, whoa, stop right there, mister. I need to see some ID. Oh, this is clearly a grammatical error here. Claire didn't. Oof. But from the first, I can see clearly. So this is probably supposed to be clearly he didn't. Okay, clearly he didn't. Mistake. This one has already made us to lose some points. If we're giving this chapter a 10, because of this grammatical error, we have to give it a 9.8. Clearly, he didn't know who it was he was messing with, but he was about to find out. Suspense and tension everywhere. The Don immediately shot his bodyguard a sharp, menacing look that said, "Take care of this." And in a swift, powerful motion, his guard, a smaller man, struck the muscular bouncer in the ribs with a knee. Already, he started describing combat. And while the man was still dealing with that, Don Fabrizio's guard grabbed the poor bouncer's bald head, that same bald head, bounced it forcefully against the steel door 3 times. Wow. And then let him fall face down to the floor, beaten, bleeding, and knocked out cold. My God. Fighting skills trumped size when it came to combat, and Don Fabrizio's boys were some of the best trained fighters in the whole of Los Angeles. The message was clear. The Don wasn't there to F around. At this point, the bystanders who'd been wary of Don Fabrizio since he stepped out of his luxury vehicle and who had witnessed this immediately began to hurry away. None of them wanted any trouble, and these two Italians in brown coats looked exactly that. Woo! This is grammar at its finest. And so, with one accord, all who had seen him from the moment he stepped out of his luxurious vehicle and who had witnessed this immediately began to hurry away. None. Okay. Oh, there is a repetition here. Oh, very very sad. But okay, I mean, we have to skip that. I said we were going to 9.8, so now we're going to give it a 9.6 because of that repetition. But what they wondered as he fled, could a man like this be possibly be doing here? There are not more than 4 or 5 pieces of dialogue in this chapter. But this chapter already has me hooked, and I know it has you hooked. This is a chapter I believe you should spend time to read, and not just the chapter, the whole book, because this is like a sample or a model of perfectly written chapter, almost perfect because of the grammatical errors, almost perfectly written chapters. You hardly find this kind of perfectly written books on all these sites. Most of the times, we find books that leave more to the leave you wishing the writer had done more. But I mean, what can we possibly ask of this author? What more? The author killed it. Now let's look at the comments. Love it, of course. We all love it too. Nice storyline. The book is intriguing, really intriguing. Nice storyline. Now I said it would be reading only the first chapter, but I mean, I feel like reading this second chapter. After I end this video now, I'll go and read the second one. So yeah, today's BLAQ take was on Enslaved by the Mafians, which is a mafia book written by an author named The Godmother, and she really is a godmother. I mean, the book itself, the quality of the book is top notch. So you have seen us. We have dissected the book, and as I said, I did not mean to, and I believe I did not insult or slate the author. I gave her flowers where the flowers were due, and I took the flowers away when she did not deserve them. So yeah, that is the first episode of the BLAQ take. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know. Please let me know what you think of this video and what you think of this particular content line in the comment section. Please like, share,